I tested the mini Samsung ecosystem. This includes the Galaxy Buds, the Galaxy Watch, and of course, a Samsung phone. I'm going to talk about the things I love about this ecosystem, but there's also a couple of things I don't like about this thing. And in some ways, the Apple ecosystem is 10 times better. Let's take a quick look into all the features of each device. First, let's take a look at the Galaxy Watch. So the watch is powered by Wear OS, which is basically Android, but for smartwatches. And what that means is you can download a whole bunch of apps on the Google Play Store for your smartwatch. And you can even get a whole bunch of custom watch faces. The watch also comes with a whole bunch of sensors, including things like heart rate and temperature, and which is helpful when it comes to tracking your health. You can even get your phone notifications on here as well. One of my favorite features being you can get WhatsApp, but for the smartwatch. And so you can see all your messages on there, and you can even leave responses, both text responses and voice messages. There are also a couple of gimmick features that you get on this watch, including things like a flashlight, and you can even control your phone's camera from the watch itself. Then we come to the phone. It's pretty much like every other Android smartphone. Get texting, calls, camera, all of other stuff, gaming, etc, etc. Then the final device here is the Galaxy Buds Live, which is a pair of Bluetooth true wireless earbuds. I was lucky to get them free with my purchase of the phone. I don't think I'd pay the full price for these. Here are my 5 favorite features about the Samsung ecosystem. The first feature is phone notifications. All of the notifications from your phone will show up on your watch. In this way, the smartwatch helps you to spend less time on your phone. The second feature is alarms, specifically the fact that if you use the built-in clock app, your alarms will sync between the devices. And so instead of having to set one bunch of alarms on your phone and then a different amount on your watch, they will sync automatically. So I only have to set them on my phone. So let's say your phone's battery dies, you can still wake up on time. Then you of course have the camera control. So if you have the Samsung S phone, the camera control is built in. But unfortunately, since I have the cheaper phone, I had to pay for a third-party app. But in this app, you can choose between photo mode, video mode, etc. You can switch between different cameras, front, back, ultra wide, zoom, whatever. And you can even set a timer from your watch. And let's say you want to take a family photo, but there's no one there to take the photo for you. You can put your phone on a tripod and then go back to your family and pose, and then you can all be in the photo at the same time. There are some things I don't like about the Samsung ecosystem. So let's talk about 5 of those things. First of all, it's battery life. The Galaxy Buds, despite the fact that they're a pricey set of earphones, the battery life is not that good. It lasts just about a couple of hours. Meanwhile, another set I used, which costed like $40, could easily last like 7 hours, almost double the amount of the Galaxy Buds. But if you think that's bad, wait till you hear about the watch. The watch itself will last only 16 hours if you turn on all of the features. Then if you turn off things like heart rate and the always on display, then maybe you can get 24 hours of battery. The next thing is glitches, specifically with the Galaxy Buds Live. Sometimes I'll connect them to my phone and the sound will only play from the left side. And so I have to disconnect them and then reconnect them. And I have to do this like multiple times every day. The next thing is that the watch is very laggy. For example, let's say you just started a run, but now you want to go and play some music on the YouTube Music app. If you try and open the app, suddenly pressing the buttons and swiping is very slow. You'll press the home button and it'll take like a full second just to go back to the home screen. That's way too long, especially when you consider just how much these watches cost. Another issue is that if you happen to take off your watch, the phone will continue to send notifications to your watch even though you're not wearing it. And that means sometimes I've missed out on important text messages because I wasn't wearing the watch. So why would you opt for a Samsung device when you can get other brands? The Samsung Watch can act as an MP3 player, not only through YouTube Music, but also you can load in your own MP3 files directly onto this device. You can also get Spotify on here, or you can get a podcast player app like I have right here. I know some garments have this feature, but not all of them. The next reason is because of app support. When it comes to Wear OS, these smartwatches come with the Google Play Store. Let me see if I can find it. And so that means you can download a huge variety of apps for your smartwatch. You can see there's a whole bunch of them right here. Specifically, the ones I've opted for include things like Google Maps, Google Calendar. You can see here's all of my calendar events. One example of an app is Google Keep. For example, you could type the notes on your Keep app on your phone, but now you can access all of your notes directly from your watch. You can also access your reminders from your watch, and you can use Bixby to create new ones. There's even a gallery app where you can send photos from your phone over to your watch. You can see, for example, I have a couple of screenshots here or actual photos. The Galaxy Buds over here also have access to noise cancelling, but to be honest, it kinda sucks. Thankfully, when it comes to the newer Galaxy Buds, those ones have good noise cancelling, according to the reviewers. So right now, here's my watch, here's the buds, and then my phone is the one that's recording. Every device here has its own separate battery, and that means charging can be quite a hassle. So let's talk about it. If you want to charge with a cable, thankfully the buds come with USB Type-C, so you can use the same charger that you use for your smartphone. Meanwhile, with the watch, you get Type-C over here, which unfortunately means you have to buy a power brick that has this port. The next method is wireless charging. So the Galaxy Watch does support wireless charging, however, it's a bit small compared to regular chargers, and so that means that most charging coils will not work. You need one that specifically supports the Galaxy Watch. You can also reverse wireless charge, so that means you can take this thing and with a Samsung S series phone that has wireless charging, you just lay it on the back of the device to charge it. Now, let's talk about this thing. This is the official Samsung charging brick, which unfortunately is not included in the box with a Samsung phone, even the most expensive one. So you have to buy this separately for $30. There are different types of technology for fast charging. Samsung specifically uses a type that's called PPS. It seems like it's very hard to find ones that have PPS built in, so you're pretty much forced to buy the Samsung branded charger if you want fast charging. Without this brick, the phone takes forever to charge. I low-key feel that this was like an intentional thing by Samsung to get you to buy their official chargers because it makes no sense. So, how much does it cost to get the mini Samsung ecosystem? So it cost me around $650 to get all of the things right here. However, when it comes to the phone, I paid a bit of a premium because what Samsung does is at launch, the price is kind of high, but after a couple of months, the price will always go down to a much more reasonable cost. But the benefit was I also got the Galaxy Buds Live for completely free. So those basically costed me nothing. The Galaxy Watch, I got used on Facebook Marketplace for around $100. Which is like at least half the price of a new Watch 5. So if you shop around, you can get the things for much cheaper than the normal price. But you can also go for the most expensive Ultra setup. So how do the two compare? And is it worth paying the premium? Let's start off with the Galaxy Buds. So the cheapest Galaxy Buds available right now is the Galaxy Buds FE. You can get these for around $60 on Amazon. Now, unlike my Buds Live, the Buds FE have much better noise cancelling, and the battery life goes as high as 7 hours. The fanciest version of the Galaxy Buds right now is the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. You'll be paying almost $200 for these. But in exchange, you get an 8-hour battery life, you get the best noise cancelling out of all of the Galaxy Buds, and you also get a much more advanced transparency mode. Next is the Galaxy Watch. The cheapest Wear OS based Galaxy Watch you can get right now is the Watch 4, which you can pick up for around $140 on Amazon. The battery life and performance won't be that good, but on a day-to-day basis, I don't think it really matters. This watch is still good enough to use. Now compared to the Galaxy Watch Ultra, that one costs around $440, which is a lot of money just for a smartwatch. But in exchange, you get a bigger screen with a much bigger battery, which now lasts multiple days. You get a faster chip, which means the apps will be a lot less laggy. Still nowhere near as good as an Apple Watch, but the screen is also much brighter, so it's easier to see if you're in the sun. Honestly, the fact that the Galaxy Watch 4 and the Ultra don't really have any major differences shows you just how much modern smartwatches have kind of stagnated. Like, I feel like on a daily basis, you wouldn't really notice much of a difference between the slowest watch and the newest watch. So now let's get to the phones. So for smartphones, I would recommend the Samsung A15. By opting for the A15 instead of the A05, you get a full HD screen, which means 1080p. The processor is 2 times faster, so apps will run better. If you like playing games, you get better graphics. You also get a better selfie camera. Like, don't let these companies fool you into buying the latest and greatest, because sometimes it's actually the worst financial decision. So the A15 costs around $180, but that's nothing compared to the Galaxy Z Fold 6, which costs a whopping $1,500. I'm not even going to bother listing out any specs because this thing just is better in every way compared to the cheaper phone. So let's talk about 2 features you get by opting for the most expensive phone compared to the cheaper one. So first of all, you get reverse wireless charging. Now we spoke about this earlier, and it basically allows you to charge either your Galaxy Buds case or your Galaxy Watch by using your phone without having to carry around a cable. This can be convenient in situations where you're outside of the house and you don't have any cables around you, but you quickly need to charge your devices. You also get Samsung's official version of camera control, which is that thing I showed you earlier where you can see a preview of what your phone camera is seeing from your watch, and you can even shoot photos by using your watch. Do you know who Samsung's main competitor is? It's Apple. Like every time you see marketing, Samsung is always comparing themselves to Apple and not any other company. So how does the Samsung ecosystem compare to the Apple ecosystem? First of all, since Apple has to deal with less devices compared to Samsung, there are fewer glitches and bugs that you deal with. The Apple Watch is also faster and smoother to use compared to the Galaxy Watch, and the smoothness also carries over onto the phones. Anyone who's ever used an Android phone for a couple of years will know it slows down a lot and gets laggy after like the first year. Meanwhile, with Apple devices, you can go out now and go buy yourself an old iPhone like an iPhone 11 or 12, and you'll know that that thing will still run relatively smoothly compared to an Android phone. Apple also has a pre-owned store, and so if you want to buy used devices but without going to sketchy sellers on Facebook, iPhones also get updated for much longer compared to Android phones. So if you're looking for the newest version of iOS, you're more likely to get that on older iPhones compared to Android phones. Find My iPhone works better on Apple compared to on Samsung, because I've tried using the Samsung SmartThings thing to find my lost devices, and honestly, it doesn't work that good.